I'm here today to talk to you about the good girl archetype. Have you been facing this struggle of feeling like, man, I'm stuck in this good girl paradigm? Like, I'm trying new things, I'm trying to change, I'm trying to push myself, but nothing seems to be working. This is the video to watch. Let's get it.
Yeah, I'm inspired. I'm inspired.
Hey there guys, how's it going? My name is Sumet Chatterjee from the Flow Zone Academy, and I'm a flow state coach, which means that I help you feel better and perform better. Today we're talking all about the good girl archetype, okay? Now we want to get from good girl to expansive woman. What do I mean by this? A good girl is stuck in the paradigm of retraction, so she's retracting her energies, she's repressing her emotions, and she can feel that in the stiffness in her body. In a sense, she's holding herself kind of shoulders jutted forward and constantly in the future, right? And people who lean back, they're stuck in the past. And obviously, these aren't hard or fast rules. These are ideas from bioenergetics. But I think it makes sense for this understanding of like the good girl is the equivalent of the nice guy, right? Where they've been conditioned by society to be a very specific way, to be obedient, to just listen to what everybody else says and just be quiet and do the thing and just, not express herself in a sense. Don't be too much. Don't keep it down, It's a suppression of femininity. It is this concept of, blocking radiance, what I'd call it, okay? So as a woman or young woman watching this, you're understanding that, okay, there is something about me that feels like I'm a good girl. There is something in this frequency of people pleasing. There is something so powerful about you reclaiming your femininity. We need more divine feminine right now on this planet more than ever. We need your radiance. The planet is lacking in feminine radiance. It is, okay? Yes, they're the baddies, okay? But is that really your outcome, your goal in life, to be a baddie? I'm talking like some kind of a millennial grandfather. I understand that, but there's something weird about that word baddie. It's like, why not goody, right? But then we have this kind of archetype of goody two-shoes and all this kind of stuff too. I don't want a baddie, okay? I want a goody. I want someone who has manners, man. Someone who has self-respect. Someone who shows up, is smiling, confident, nurturing, loving, playful, and it's more a frequency, right? It's the thing, like when you understand that you have a frequency that you're giving out, don't focus on having a type. Have a frequency, have an energy maintenance system with another person where you feel their vibes. To be a good girl, into transformation into something else. And the baddie is described as a woman who's independent, taking care of herself. However, at the same time, if you take care of yourself, why do you need a man? You really have to answer that question for yourself, right? Because the thing about it is, if you're fully fine being independent, having everything met, why do you need another person? This is why you don't just need independence, you need interdependence. You need a support system. You need other people around you that you can lean on. And that's completely normal. You don't have to live in this mentality that I'm all by myself as a woman in this world. It's me against the world. You don't have to believe in that mentality. And it really is about the vibes at the end of the day, okay? The vibes are what can make the situation way more spontaneous, and the vibes are what can maintain that amazing spirit, okay? That Sophia essence, right? So if you're thinking regularly about the good girl archetype, you genuinely think about the maiden archetype, which is a very common archetype that actually connects all women because first of all, it connects to the sacral chakra, which is associated with that womb essence or that womb energy or that sensual creative energy or that Shakti. So the maiden archetype is very soft, very caring, very feminine. I'm very attracted to the feminine archetype of the maiden. However, she is also described as a damsel in distress. Now listen here. I don't want you to be a damsel in distress. I want you to be a damsel in eustress. What is eustress? Eustress is a healthier form of stress where you get positive challenge from the world. You get motivated. You get enthusiastic rather than, the unhealthy stressors that get you to feel like, oh, my life's falling apart, okay? So you actually want to positively use your stress to get out of this good girl paradigm, where you're actually melting more into your beingness and your presence as a woman, rather than trying to control yourself and constantly be like, oh, I wonder if I'm appearing all right, if I'm okay, if I'm good enough. I was watching this girl on YouTube, Anila Sita or something like that, her name is, and she's going to Bali, and I see her, she has all the archetypical like traits that I like physically, like red, like bright red hair, you know, I think subconsciously the reason why I like red hair is because it's someone who's showing that they're bold in a sense. Like it takes a certain level of confidence to show up with red hair, I'm not gonna lie, okay? So she is my golden shadow in a sense, where she is absolutely not afraid of being seen. And a part of me was like kind of attracted to this energy, and a part of me was kind of triggered by the spiritual baddie, okay? Hey there guys, you know, we're gonna talk about nurturing and love and that kind of shit, bitch, right? And you go, okay. Right? It's like we grow up in a culture, right, where it's like Nicki Minaj and Cardi B, and you know, you have all these examples of women. Like, is that really what you want to aspire to be? Is that really what you want to aspire to be as a woman? Like, just talk to me authentically, like naturally, you know? Is that really the feminine role models that we're seeing? Where's the divine goddess energy, right? Where is that quality?
You're a bad bitch, you're a goddess, you're a queen, all right?
I'm sure it's there. So anyway, back to this archetype. So the spiritual baddie, right? Like, at one level I was attracted, but at another level I was kind of triggered and repulsed. Showing the two sides of me, like a Janus coin, right? It's splitting in my mind as I'm watching her videos and things like this, where I see the feminine essence, but I also see this masculine armoring of, bitch, you don't know what, you know, that energy. Specifically, the media portrays this as ratchet or slutty or, you know, thoughty or whatever behavior this is. This gets shamed, but the thing about it is that also cripples a woman. If they're drawn to that archetype, it also cripples a woman of her actual sensuality, right? Because the random club thotty cannot be compared to a woman who has value. I think when a woman can bring to the world some kind of extra personality to her through the world alongside her looks, that's when the game changes for her. She's not mothering because it's in her DNA and because, you know, other people are doing it. She's doing it because she loves to do it. And that's the essence. You want to become an expansive woman, meaning you don't want to keep shutting yourself down. The two traits that I've noticed in good girl tendencies, and I call them tendencies, not identities, because if you think it's a tendency, that means you can change it, okay? If you think it's your identity, it's difficult to change. But even though an identity is fluid, but it's fluid like molasses, it'll take you a long time to actually overcome this. Whereas if you work on the limiting belief stuff, understanding your shadow of the good girl paradigm, they don't want to break the rules because they're going to get punished for it, okay? In their mind, right, the subconscious mind is working on this programming. So it's a template, it's a blueprint. So the two things that are qualities in good girl archetypes, or if you have a good girl template, is number one, over apologizing. You apologize way too much, okay? You respond to email like, hey, I'm sorry to bother you, but that's how you begin your email, okay? It's like this over apologizing nature, like, oh, I'm sorry, oh no, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. And it starts to lose its meaning after a while because you're so in that apologetic frame, okay? Hey, this is an issue for guys too, right? But the good girl, like, especially has this like sorry nature of oops, sorry, oh, I didn't mean to, I apologize. That's kind of the frame or the theme of their mind. Like, I'm doing something wrong, I'm doing something bad. I have to be good all the time, okay? A lot of people brought up in, you know, religious household or very strict parenting households, they feel this sense of this good girl archetype because the moment they do something wrong, you know, they won't get let into the house or they'll get, you know, corporally punished or something like this, right? So in a sense, a lot of this is, yes, this subconscious work from childhood and like understanding that, like obedience and that mentality, right? Of course it's good to have discipline. Of course it's good to, listen to rules at times. Of course, instructional value is there. The number one is over apologizing. Number two is over explaining. What do I mean by over explaining? You're justifying why you're saying what you're saying. You know that this thing is true, but you need to justify the fact that it's true to gain that validation and that acceptance from other people. Okay? So this over explaining nature, okay, that's kind of a big part of the good girl archetype. So just because you're stepping out of the good girl, don't think for a fact that because I'm not a good girl anymore, I'm a baddie now. No, you're not. Okay, first and foremost, that's a whack goal. First and foremost, okay. That's just my perspective, my opinion. Okay, you can do whatever you want, right? You're a sovereign woman. Like, go and do you, boo. Okay, but at the same time, understand that there is this drive to want to better yourself. We all have it as human beings, right? We have this urgency, this pull, this drive, this life force energy. And a woman who is not embracing that Shakti energy and bringing it up, and that's actually going to block away her orgasms, because the thing about it is, if you're in that good girl paradigm, you are trying to control things. You're trying to control your feelings. You're trying to control other people's feelings. You're trying to control yourself. You're trying to control the household. You're trying to control. You're in this framework of control. And so you're also trying to control your experience of sex. That controller mentality blocks you away from feeling your own pleasure, in a sense. Pleasure needs a certain unrestrained energy. It needs a freedom, an internal feeling of letting go, right? A sense of a release, which is what an orgasm kind of is, in a sense, right? So once you understand that I've got to surrender to my love, to my femininity, to my heart, I've got to allow myself to feel into my body again and not go up into my mind and being so rigid and putting on this masculine armoring or this mask to protect myself in this very harsh world, harsh climate, right? Where everyone's rude and mean and people are suffering and that kind of mentality, right? I understand that becomes a natural way for people to protect themselves, right? It's a preservation mechanism, if we think about it, right? Fight, flight, or freeze mode kicks in as well at times for the good girl archetype. There's nothing wrong per se about the good girl archetype, just like there's nothing wrong about the nice guy. Well, I wouldn't say it's wrong, but it's just ineffective, right? If you're looking for a strategy to be in relationships and have friends, and if you have an intention of actually getting into a relationship, it's kind of difficult if you're just in the good girl paradigm and you're just kind of getting by. Then there's no spark, there's no romance, and it kind of, the passion fades away over time, right? It's important for you to embrace your feminine essence, in a sense, okay? What is feminine essence? What is it? It's that nurturing quality. It's that sense of, again, you don't want to mother him, okay? Do not mother him. That's not what I'm saying. But be present with a man who is maybe going through his emotions at a certain point of time, because he doesn't need you to fix him or solve the issue for him, obviously. Listen, the masculine essence, they want to be protecting you. They want to provide for you, right? In a sense, that is that masculine energy. But you got to bring that out of the man. You can't just sit back and think that, oh, I'm getting everything on the platter. No, there's got to be some level of inner development, right? It's very clear to me, a person who's done the inner work, okay? I can sense this, not just in women, but in men too. Like, I just sense this, right? And the thing about it is, someone who's very introspective and has that self-inquiry, they will slowly be able to understand and put the pieces together. They'll have that self-awareness because they know themselves and they know their own emotions. They know their experiences with it. They've built a relationship with this, and they're understanding now that, they are not their thoughts, actually. That actually there's something else, okay? that the human brain cannot recognize this something else. I highly recommend that you check out womenlovepower.com for finding your feminine archetypes. These are seduction archetypes, but also they're very, very powerful to look into. So if you find your own, you can then do more research into it. And if you tell me what you got on the quiz, we can get on a call and I can help break down some ideas around this, because there's also a lot of stuff linked to core wounding. I've done some goddess keys sessions with women before who are looking for, you know, their sense, that direction, that magnum opus for them. Like, where is it that I'm gonna go now? Hey, this is a journey, right? This is your queen's journey. This is that process where you are the queen that went dormant, right? You knew you had that potential in the past. Something happened, some guy broke your heart, right? Some situation led you down a weird path and now you're feeling bad about it. Now listen, you can sit there and be like, it's everybody else's fault and point fingers, or you can take responsibility and be like, listen, there's a level of me that's got to change with this, and I'm open to being coached. I'm open to, you know, being counseled. I'm open to stretch the paradigm and the boundary and look at this other model of looking at things, which is this positive psychology mentality. How about you stop looking at your weaknesses as a good girl and start looking at your strengths as an expansive woman? As you lean into that power of you sharing your radiance, you putting your energy up, when someone challenges you or puts you down, you still hold your radiance. You still have that feminine glow about you. You don't dim your shine. Sometimes for a lot of women, I know that you get really attached to the self-image, like, oh, I didn't wear mascara today, I feel like crap, I forgot it, I was too lazy, I was, you know, off of my path, I was, whatever your excuse is. Listen, there's not gonna be a knight in shining armor, okay? That's the reality. You have got to save yourself. You've got to be your own knight in shining armor right now, okay? You got to glow up. Maybe you need to hear a man tell you this. Because a woman can tell you this, girl, you're looking so pretty. And a man recognizes your femininity, your essence, your beauty, right? The essence of beauty within you. You need to find a way to demonstrate that to the world. The thing is, a person's soul speaks to me more than I actually get a sense of a human being talking to me. I'm reacting and responding to the soul, and I'm speaking to the soul in you in these videos, okay? You know your truth. You know where you need to improve in order to really transmute this good girl archetype to become the woman that you always dreamed of being. But it really comes down to you leaning into your authenticity rather than people pleasing all the time. And the way you do this is you start to lean into your own power as a woman. Okay, your sensuality, your radiance and your expressiveness, your sense of nurturing, your sense of care and compassion, your sense of intuition and creativity. These qualities, if they're missing, you are not in your feminine essence. You've put on this rigidity, this sense of protection from the world. You feel unsafe in your beingness. Now it's time to find that safety again as a woman. It's time to embrace and reclaim your goddess self, because we need you right now on this planet as men. We need the feminine energy alive to heal us, to revitalize the planet. This is that healing energy of Mother Gaia. And so I thank you for watching. If you watched this far, that means you really want to change this about yourself. So I really respect you for that. Have an incredible day. May the flow be with you. And stay legendary. Let's get it today, Upward Spiral gang. Let's go.